Joining us today, I'm very pleased to welcome Roger Rosmus, founder and CEO of Goliath Resources, to our discussion here. Roger, welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet a fellow Saskatoonian.
Well, Saskatoonian, Roger.
Saskatoonian, thank you.
Yes, indeed. What a cosmic coincidence that we meet here. So wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
To have you. So can you tell us about your flagship gold project in British Columbia? What are you up to at Goliath Resources?
Well, we've been drilling since 2021. It was a brand new discovery. It had never been drilled before until we came along. It was actually covered under glacier, permanent snowpack for many, many years. And really, in the last, call it 5 years or so, glacier has receded and has exposed over 2 kilometers of mineralization at surface. Fast forward to today, we have drilled close to 100,000 meters into the system. We've hit on every hole mineralization with this 1.8 square kilometer area. For the Vancouver folks, that's kind of, I guess, about 1/4 the size of the downtown core of Vancouver, quite large. And it does remain wide open. We have a series of these stacked veins, kind of like a layer cake, or if you're Greek, maybe like a baklava with like the nice juicy bits in between the phyllo pastry.
Sounds delicious.
As my friend Quinton likes to, his analogy. And 92% of our holes that we drilled last year had visible gold. We did have some assays released last week. We announced a pretty remarkable hole, actually spectacular hole. Lots of EG, I'm not sure how that'll show up on the camera or not, but quite shiny and so on. This thing ran 39 meters over 1 ounce material, and within that we have
incredible, I can see the gold.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
10 meters of over 4 ounces.
Okay.
So it was over a 1,300 gram meter hole. You know, where does that sit in the whole parameter on a global basis? I think we're in the upper percentile. Certainly over the last decade, you don't drill a 1,300 gram meter hole every day. So this is telling us possibly we're getting closer to the mothership, this reduced intrusive type of, I guess call it heat engine that brought all the mineralization to see its surface. And one very interesting aspect as well, it remains above the valley floor. So we haven't actually have drilled below the valley floor. Everything that we've drilled to date is above, like roughly 200 meters. So in a mining scenario, obviously you can have some nice benefits to that. Instead of going down, you've got gravity working in your favor. And some people are always asking, what kind of system, what does it look like? Quinton Henning, again, one of our advisors who's done work at the Pogo mine, he feels quite strongly, and this is a carbon copy of the Pogo. Again, layered veins. They have actually 10 million ounces. They produce over 4 million ounces to date. So that's a kind of a really nice comparison for us.
Very good. And this discovery was made last year, is that correct?
No, actually it was discovered in, call it 2019. We did some channel cuts.
Okay, but is there's a new discovery, right? Or did you mention?
Maybe the Treasure Island we're talking about up to the north. That's a VMS SK Creek style. Again, 30 to 40 kilometers to the north, where we're seeing lots of gold, lots of copper. Channel cuts we took ran up to 20 grams per ton gold equivalent. Some of the samples were up to 14% copper. So again, some upside surprise for the shareholders, possibly. Not promising anything. I don't know what the results are going to be, but we could possibly have like another SK Creek style of type of new discovery for the company.
Excellent. Okay, so who are some of Goliath's strategic investors?
Great question. Well, Crescat Capital came in quite early before we drilled in 2020. They're a fund based out of Denver, Colorado. That's where Quinton came from as one of our technical advisors. Shortly thereafter in 2021, again before we drilled, Eric Sprott became a shareholder through a placement. And then in the last, call it 12, 18 months or so, Rob McEwen now has become a substantial shareholder. Managed to attract a global commodity group based out of Singapore. They're sitting at 5.2%, possibly higher. I think they've been in the market recently. And then more recently, Larry Childress, who's not as well known, but he's a super smart guy. He doesn't invest in a lot of things, and he owns about 1% of the company. And then we do have a group based out of Germany, just under 10% of the company as well. So volume-wise, we're trading 85 million shares last 52 weeks. We've got a high of $1.54 and a low of around 74 cents. And currently we're trading at about $1.36.
Okay, excellent. And are you planning any further capital raises?
No, there's nothing on the horizon at the moment. I raised just over $23 million in the latter part of 2024. On that subject, for the last 3 years, I've raised close to $62 million, primarily on through my network, not relying on the brokers too much, so I've saved quite a bit of money to paying out in fees and broker warrants. And with that, we're going to come into this year, well, we've come into this year with over $7 million in the treasury, and have $9.5 million of warrants that are deep in the money at 62 cents, primarily owned by Crescat, Rob McEwen, family offices, et cetera. Those start expiring, all of them in 2025, a third Q1, a third Q2, and a third Q4. So we're going to be well capitalized. Right now the burn rate is super low, coming to conferences and so on, so just G&A, but once we start drilling, helicopters start flying, burning up the jet fuel, et cetera, that's when things will ramp up kind of July, August.
Okay, excellent. And very quickly, if possible, what is the drill campaign schedule and strategic vision for 2025? What do we have in just a few lines?
Well, we still have, as I said, there's one reason to buy a stock and 100 reasons to sell. Right now I have 89 reasons why folks might want to take a really good look at us. We have 89 holes assays pending. The bulk of those have visible gold and or abundant visible gold. So check it out, go to our webpage, look at our last news release. Once we have all the assays, hopefully between now and PDAC, or hopefully sooner than PDAC, we're going to have to do a new iteration of our model. We'll kind of plan out where the best place to be drilling on in 2025. We have a bit of an idea what we want to do, get some infill drilling in our high grade Bonanza zone where we're getting this over 1 ounce material consistently, a lot of 100 gram meter holes, and really just hone in that area and possibly just with potential tonnage there, 5 to 6 meters, you're looking at 25 to 35 million tons of material. As far as average grade, so on, obviously we'll have to wait for assays and what have you. So essentially a tier 1 high grade gold system unfolding as we speak in real time.
Excellent. Roger Rosmus, founder and CEO of Goliath Resources, born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.